Hi, I'm Cosmic Scale, the developer behind the PSBBN Definitive Patch. Today I'm introducing something new for all the Windows users out there. In collaboration with Yawn, I'm bringing you the PSBBN launcher for Windows. The PSBBN Definitive Patch requires Linux. Dealing with Linux or the Microsoft subsystem for Linux was daunting for some Windows users. The PSBBN launcher for Windows simplifies the process for Windows users. I know there's a lot of new people here, so before I go into details, let's have a quick recap covering what PSBBN is. PSBBN, also known as the PlayStation Broadband Navigator or BB Navigator, is official Sony software for the PlayStation 2, released exclusively in Japan. It was introduced back in 2002 as a replacement for the PS2's very basic interface. It required a hard drive and network adapter and added many new features like running games from the hard drive, ripping audio CDs, transferring music to minidisc recorders, downloading and watching videos, viewing photos, accessing online channels, and more. The aim of this project was to translate PSBBN from the original Japanese to English, add some modern features, and make it a viable daily driver for use in 2025 and beyond. To install PSBBN, you will need the following: a fat PlayStation 2 console with expansion bay. You'll also need an official Sony network adapter with a SATA mod, a SSD or HDD 200GB or larger. I would highly recommend an SSD for improved performance. You'll also need a way to connect your chosen drive to your PC. While technically possible to get PSBBN running on certain slim model PS2 consoles with a hardware mod and PS2s with an external HDD, for simplicity we'll be sticking to the expansion bay type for this tutorial. Connect the drive you'll be using for PSBBN to your computer. Then head over to the PSBBN Definitive Patch GitHub page. You will find a link in the description. Click on the icon here and select Installing on Windows. It might be necessary to enable CPU virtualization in your PC's BIOS settings. Instructions on how to do so can be found here. The next step is to download the PSBBN launcher for Windows. Right-click here and select Save Link As. Save the file to your Downloads folder. If this is your first time running this script, you will need to set the PowerShell execution policy. This allows the script to run on your PC. Click on the Start menu and search for PowerShell and select Run as Administrator. Click here to copy the command. Paste it into the PowerShell window and press Enter. Type A and press Enter to say yes to all. You can now close the PowerShell window and the browser. We are now ready to run the script. Go to your Downloads folder. Right-click on the PSBBN launcher for Windows script and select Run with PowerShell. Click Open. Press R and Enter to run the script. The setup process will then begin. When that is done, you will be prompted to restart your computer. Type A and press Enter to reboot. After your PC has rebooted, we can now run the PSBBN launcher for Windows script again. Right-click on the PSBBN launcher for Windows script and select Run with PowerShell. Click Open. Press R and Enter to run the script. The setup process will continue. Next, you'll be prompted to enter a username. The username must start with a lowercase letter and only contain letters and numbers. Now set a password. And retype your password to confirm. Type exit and press enter. Type the password that you just set. The script will then continue. When that is done, you'll be given a list of drives connected to your PC. We need to select the drive we want to install PSBBN to. The drive I want to use is the Kingston 240G. That is drive number 4, so I'll enter 4. The drive will then be mounted. Next, you'll be asked to pick a folder. This folder is where you put your games, apps and music files that you want to install. Press enter and a file explorer window will appear. I'm going to create a new folder on the E drive called PSBBN. Open the folder. This will open an Explorer window showing the folder you just created. I can now copy everything I want to install to these folders. I prepared some files already. It's your typical OPL folder setup. PlayStation 2 ISO and ZSO files go in the CD and DVD folders. PlayStation 1 VCD files go in the POPs folder. Music files go in the music folder. Back to the script, press enter to continue. Type the passwords. Dependencies for the PSBBN definitive patch will then be installed. When this is complete, you will be at the PSBBN Definitive Patch main menu. We are now ready to install PSBBN. Select 1 and press enter. You will be asked to confirm the drive that you selected earlier and warned that all data on the drive will be erased. Type yes and press enter. PSBBN will then begin to install. You will be asked to set a size for your music partition. I'll set it to 30 GB. Then the contents partition, which is used to store movies and photos. I'll set it to 20 GB. Finally, the POPs partition to store all your PS1 games. I'll set it to 50 GB. Press Y and enter to proceed. When the install completes, press any key to return to the main menu. Next, let's select option 3 to install the games we prepared earlier. As it's the first time, I'll select option 1 to sync. I'll choose OPL for my game launcher, and I'll say yes to the HD TV fix for PlayStation 1 games. Press any key to continue and sit back, relax and wait for your games to install. When the games are installed, press any key to return to the main menu. Finally, let's install the music we prepared. Press option 4 to install media, then option 1 to install music. Supported files are MP3, M4A, FLAC and OGG. When that is complete, press any key to return to the media menu, then B to return to the main menu, then Q to quit. Before disconnecting the drive from your computer, remember to eject the drive first. Now let's put the drive into the PlayStation 2 console and take a look. When you turn on your PS2 with the drive connected, it will boot straight into PSBBN. Let's head over to the game collection to see the games we installed. You can launch all your games and homebrew apps directly from here. Now let's head over to the music channel. Here you can see the album we installed. When it comes to running the script for a second time to install new games or media, the process is very simple. Right click on the PSBBN launcher for Windows script and select Run with PowerShell. Click Open, then type R and enter to run. You will then be given a list of drives. As you can see, PSBBN has been detected on drive 4, so we will type 4. It's also remembered the path we set earlier. Type Y and press enter to keep this path. The folder will then be opened in an Explorer window, ready to copy over your new files. Over here, type your password, and you're back at the PSBBN Definitive Patch main menu. What you've seen today is just scratching the surface of what the PSBBN Definitive Patch has to offer. It offers Game ID support for the Memcard Pro 2, SD2 PSX and RetroGem, HDD OSD, a full Linux desktop running on your PS2 and more, with more updates and new features still in the pipeline. Special thanks to Jorn for all the work he put into making the PSBBN launcher for Windows. And thanks to everyone who has contributed to my Ko-fi. If you appreciate the work I'm putting into the PSBBN Definitive Patch and would like to support its continued development, you can contribute to my Ko-fi. You will find a link in the description and the pinned comment. If you want to keep up to date with the latest developments, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Twitter, Blue Sky or Ko-fi. As always, all links will be in the description, but for now, this is Cosmic Scowl signing out.